go to work. Put the numbers behind me. Looking for me on the court, you know where you can find me. Buzzer beater, keep the heater flaming inside me. If you need a sharpshooter, alley, you put this dime piece.
What's up, Sun fans? My name is Alexandra Mond, and this is Keep Shinin, the official podcast of the Connecticut Sun, presented by Xfinity. So I have today with me Charlisse Leger-Walker. And yes, I said Charlisse, because everyone messes it up.
Emphasis on the ch.
Yeah, the ch. It really does matter. Yeah.
Thank you. You've always got my back.
You're so welcome. Yeah. The amount of times I've spent being like, no, it's Char.
Yeah, because
like,
I won't.
Yeah,
so you do.
The first time we ever met, I was like, okay, just tell me which one it is. And she's like, oh, it's fine. I'm like, no. We're going to get this right.
Your name.
We're going to get this right.
Yeah, yes. My mom will thank you for that.
Oh, I got her. I do. So Char, you grew up in Hamilton, New Zealand, and now you're playing professional basketball in Connecticut. What does that journey feel like when you actually stop and think about it?
It's insane. Yeah. Like when you just put it like that, going from Hamilton to here, I feel like there's been so much within that. Obviously a lot to unpack, which I'm sure we will, but it's insane thinking back to just growing up in New Zealand, and this has always been a dream of mine to play in the league, and at times a dream that I thought would remain a dream just because of, how uncommon that is for people in New Zealand. And so being here now, it's still kind of surreal to me, but really just trying to enjoy the experience, take it all in, and just grow. But it's been a really crazy journey.
Amazing. I mean, what was the moment where you realized that like this went from a dream to a possible reality for you?
Honestly, probably my freshman year of college. When I first was thinking about playing overseas and, just competing at this level, I really didn't know what to expect and didn't know how my game would translate, if I would be able to compete, with the girls over here, because obviously they're all really talented and basketball is just so much bigger in the States, and you really don't know until you start playing. And when I came over for college and I had a really good freshman year, I was like, you know what, like if I put my head down and really work for this and really want this, I think that it will be achievable for me. So I think probably my mindset in my freshman year switched a little bit, and it was something I knew could turn into a reality for me.
Yeah, and you were the first New Zealander, woman at least, to be drafted to the WNBA. Yes. I mean, first of all, that's incredible.
Thank you.
2 questions off of that. What does that mean to you? And then how did you dare to dream to be in the WNBA when that was like not something that New Zealanders did?
Yeah, first, just being the first female drafted to the WNBA was such a huge thing for me. And I knew going into, my final season and even all the way up till the draft, like I knew how big it was, but I didn't really understand the impact that it was going to have on everyone back home. And that day, first day I met you actually.
I know.
But that day I remember after our media circuit that we did, getting my phone and the amount of people, both who I knew and who I didn't know, the amount of media companies, the amount of, people wanting interviews after that was insane. I was so overwhelmed with the love and support that I got from home. And I think it really clicked in my head that I was like, wow, this is going to change things for girls and boys back home, knowing that, it is possible to get to this level. And I think just seeing all of, the young girls reach out to me and they're asking for advice already and just asking how I got here and what do they have to do to, kind of follow in my footsteps that way. That has been so humbling for me, and I get emotional sometimes thinking about it, because when I was growing up I didn't have anyone to look at in the WNBA and say, wow, she looks like me, she talks like me, she wears the same clothes, like has the same hair, all of those things. I never got the chance to really see that growing up, and it's when you can't see it, it's hard to really believe it for yourself. So I think reflecting back on that, growing up, my biggest role model and inspiration a lot of times was my mom. She played for our national team. She went to the Olympics. She was such a great player herself, a point guard, and I learned a lot from her. But, she never got the chance to go overseas and play professionally after that. And so it was kind of just looking at, you know, the college players that were over there. And at that time, there weren't many either.
Yeah.
I have an older sister, Crystal, who came over and played. And so just watching her journey and seeing how amazing she was doing, that kind of sparked my interest a little bit. But yeah, I really never watched the WNBA growing up just because, one, it wasn't really accessible in New Zealand, and two, there was no one from New Zealand playing, so I didn't have as much of an interest. So it's kind of crazy thinking that I'm here now and I can really be kind of a role model and, you know, just someone who can represent for the people back home.
Yeah, and you make me so happy. It makes me so happy to hear that, because that is my why for this job. I mean, we have some long days, crazy weeks, you know, you never see your family, all that stuff, but being able to create that representation for the next generation of athletes and women's basketball players and girls to just see themselves in this incredibly powerful position with women who are strong and graceful and passionate and just amazing. I mean, it's incredible that you are able to create that for somebody, and having the knowledge that you have your people behind you. It must be incredible.
It's incredible. We have 5 million people, 6 million people in New Zealand total. So knowing that, you know, I have at least that amount of people, like, it's awesome.
Each and every one of them.
Every one of them. I hope. But yeah, I've had nothing but support from everyone back home, so it's been awesome.
Yeah, and you mentioned your sister, Crystal. Y'all played together at Washington State, right?
Yes.
How was that? What was that like?
That was amazing. Yeah. So little brief intro of how that all came to be. She originally started her college career at University of Northern Colorado, and then her coaches at the time, they moved to Washington State. And so she spent one more year and then decided to transfer, follow them there. And because they were in the Pac-12, I knew that was, you know, a good level of competition that I wanted to play in. And so when they started recruiting me and Crystal decided that she was going to transfer there, I thought, you know, why not? Not many people get to play with their sister, especially at that level. And it was really good basketball, good competition. And I really trusted and loved the coaches. So made the move to go there, and thank goodness I did, because freshman year is hard.
It's hard.
Like the transition,
It is.
especially coming from, you know, a whole nother country and the opposite side of the world. The culture change is insane. Different food, different people, different style of play. And so having somebody who I knew was unconditionally on my side, loves me, loyal to me, and my sister there, that was huge, especially just for my mental health and, you know, the homesickness piece. She was just a piece of home for me. So that, alongside just her knowledge for the game and her experience in college, really helped my freshman year. And just getting to play with her. I mean, I'm biased, but I think she's one of the best point guards that I've ever played with. Insane vision, like can throw the ball behind her head and knows exactly where you are, that type of player. And just really selfless. And so being able to experience those first 2 years was amazing with her. And we went through COVID together, which was also
that had
insane.
to be awesome, though, to have your sister with you, like, for that time when
Yes, because COVID was such a trip. Like, I can't even
imagine being so far away from my family like that. Like, because at the time, COVID, I was thinking about playing overseas, and I didn't go because I was like, I'm not crossing the ocean. No. Like, I need to be where I can drive to my family. So I can't even imagine what that must have been like.
Yes. Again, the bright side was that I had her there with me. So that was just, you know, really nice. But also just COVID in itself was insane. Like the season was crazy, playing with masks, testing every morning. That's a whole nother story. But yeah, it was awesome having her there, and she definitely helped my transition into college and is a big part of the reason why I'm here today.
That's awesome. I love that. And honestly, it must have been crazy to think about her going through that freshman year alone. Like, didn't have anybody, had to figure it out, all the new foods, everything.
Yes.
Like, shout out to you, Crystal.
Shout out, Crystal. Love you, sis.
Okay, so you transitioned from Washington State. You went over to UCLA, where you won a national championship this year. Fantastic. What was that experience like? What was that run like for you? And then tell us a little bit about like everything since and how, like, just the last like 3 months for you. Set the scene.
Yes. Oh my gosh. So the initial transfer to UCLA, my plan was always to do 4 years of college at one school, graduate, get my degree, and then play professionally. But obviously in my senior year, I tore my ACL halfway through, and then had to figure out, you know, do I still want to declare? Do I want to use my COVID year, extra year of eligibility, come back. And I was just weighing up all those options and ultimately decided, I want to go somewhere that's really going to help me, get better, get back to playing. And then if I'm coming back to college, be surrounded by players who are all in the same mindset of going to the next level.
Right.
And at Washington State, absolutely love my team, but a lot of them, that was probably going to be the end of, their playing career.
Right.
That's totally cool. So I wanted to do that, decided that UCLA was a really good fit for me, loved the girls, sat out that first year just rehabbing and getting back to feeling good about my knee and playing. And then, like you said, last year went on a crazy, insane run, managed to take out, the national championship. And I just want to say, I absolutely adore each and every one of those girls on my team. I know it can be cliche and the culture word is thrown around a lot in sports, but that is one of the most together, connected, selfless teams that I've ever played on. And it's kind of crazy to me to think that six of us were obviously drafted. And it would have been so easy for any one of us to kind of, have a mindset going into that year where this is my senior year. I want to have the moment. I want to have the shine. I need to score points, worry about my statistics, all of those things. And I think the very rare thing was that from the beginning, we committed to, playing for one another, and we remain consistent in that all the way up until the national championship. And I think, that's something that takes a very strong level of maturity. And obviously we had that in the experience, but we also just held each other accountable throughout the whole entire year. If somebody was maybe teetering on the line of crossing over, we quickly pulled them back in. And awesome. Everyone consistently recommitted to our common goal in mind, and that was to win at the end of the day. And it just made it so enjoyable to play that way and play for each other and celebrate each other. And going into the March Madness run, obviously we had some ups and downs, and the game that I continue to go back to is the Duke game, our Elite Eight game, and we were actually down by almost 15 at one point, 17 maybe at one point. And I think there was kind of a turning point for us in the halftime locker room. We all just sat there and we're like, this is our test right now. This is what we've been working for. This is our chance to prove that we're recommitting to our goal right here, and everyone needs to step up. And that third quarter, we came out and we're an entirely different team. And I think from there, we were never going to lose. And I think that was just such an awesome kind of run and team to be a part of, and just so proud of the way that I'm proud of the way that we won. I think, that how we played together as a team. And I'm still very close, obviously, with all of them. I catch up with all of them all the time. And just love that team. And it was such an amazing experience and a great way to finish your college career. Not many people finish on a win. So I'm really, really glad that I got to be a part of that.
Yeah, no, that's so special. And can you just talk about draft night itself? I mean, to be there in the room with you all and the cheering, let's just talk about the cheering. Normally it's the fans who are all cheering the loud. It was you all at the table. Yes. Every time one of y'all got drafted, somebody was out cheering the fans, and I love that energy. It was the most tangible showing of love and support that you all have for each other, and it was clear to everybody in the room that was what had gotten you all that championship. So can you just talk about first of all, how did y'all get everybody at the table? Because I know there's only a certain number of you were invited. Can you
So when we finished the championship and we were coming back and we were kind of working our way into figuring out what we're going to do for the draft, we all kind of made a commitment early on that no matter who was invited, who wasn't, we were all going to go, because we knew that we were going to get drafted. We all knew at some point we were going to get drafted. And so we made that commitment early, and I was actually the only one who wasn't invited to go to the draft that night. But I lived with
I love that.
Yeah, exactly. So I was like, when they all decided to go, I was like, of course I'm going to be there. I want to celebrate with you guys. This is a really cool moment. And a lot of our other teammates came as well. But Angela Dugalich, her and Gianna were my roommates at UCLA. And straight away, as soon as they knew I wasn't invited, Andrew was like, sit at my table, I'll put my dad in the stands and he can sit with your dad and our mums can sit at the table with us. And immediately, and Ange has the biggest heart. I love that girl so much. And there was just no question that she was like, you need to be a part of this. And that meant so much to me, because I was not even really considering having my parents come, just because if I didn't have a table, there was just so many different logistics. But I'm really glad that I did. My parents were able to come out and spend time with me in New York and do all the things. But that day, we all were in the hotel getting ready together, and I actually felt sick the whole day.
Really?
Like, I was just anxious. Like, it wasn't necessarily that I knew I wasn't going to get drafted, but it was more just, I think, the emotions of knowing we were all going to be separated again, not knowing where you were going to get drafted. None of us had started packing. Like, there was just,
I do remember that.
like putting our outfit together, like our makeup. See, it was how it was going to come together. So I feel like the whole day it was just a real mix and roller coaster of emotions. But again, the best thing was that we were experiencing it together. And I remember getting ready in Gianna's room, and Ange was in the room next to us, and we would just go back and forth and, how are you doing? Are you okay? Like, let's just sit down. And we actually had a moment where we made everyone get out of our room, and us three kind of just sat there and we're just talking about, how we were feeling the past year. And it was really reflective. And it was just a really nice moment that day. And then going to the draft and seeing everyone there and their outfits, and then actually hearing our names get called. I remember every single time. I think there were 3 of them that went back to back, maybe 4, 5, and 6. Low, Gabs, and Key. And I just remember every single time, like, somebody from UCLA got caught up, like you were saying.
Crazy.
At all 4 of our tables were just erupting.
It was insane.
It was insane. And I felt lucky because I got to see all of them, walk the stage. And I honestly felt like a proud mum. Like, I was I think I was the oldest in the team. And so it was almost like a really cool moment for me, just seeing them, work so hard to get to this point in their career and see them walking the stage. It was a really surreal moment. And then when I got called at 18, I was the last one to go. And I felt so overwhelmed with all of the families, like, immediately stood up and all of them are staring at me, all recording. I was like, I have like 10 families here right now.
And you had the loudest cheer.
Yes, they were so excited. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is insane. And I just remember walking around, and the families were on this side and the tables, and then our coaches were right by the stage. And so walking past them, I remember giving Coach Corey a hug, and she was almost in tears, crying. And it was just such a surreal feeling and a surreal day. And, finally hearing my name. And I don't think I walked across that stage and it was a complete blur. I was like, if I'm being honest, it wasn't until I sat down and was doing the next interview after Holly Rowe's interview that I was like, whoa, I just got drafted. This is crazy. But that day was insane. I